Hello everyone, welcome to the Briefcase. Today we are diving into the top 10 most important news from the world of business and economics. Breaking down what happened, why it matters, and how it impacts you. Let's get started with the new twist in the US China trade saga. It is going viral for all the right or wrong reasons. With the US imposing tariffs as high as 145% on China imports, some Chinese manufacturers have started fighting back with transparency. They have taken to TikTok to expose the actual cost of manufacturing luxury products that people in the West pay thousands for. For example, a Hermes Birkin bag that sells for $34,000, factories show they can make it for just $1,400. Even kitchen goods and beauty tools marked at $40 exposed with the real cost around $3 to $5.
So these same suppliers are now bypassing middlemen in brands, selling direct to consumers via social media, even offering to cover US shipping and duties. It's pricing transparency like we have never seen before, and it's challenging how we think about luxury, brand markup, and value. And while trade tensions rise, global growth is cooling. The IMF just cut its 2025 growth forecast for the Middle East and North Africa from 4% to 2.6%. Why? A mix of falling oil prices, tighter global financing, and ripple effect from trade conflicts like the one we just talked about. The IMF's message is clear. It's time for structural reforms and diversification because oil alone cannot cut it anymore. Now, from global pressure to local pause, let's head to India and start with Zoho's tech retreat. Zoho, the software giant, has put the brakes on its $700 million semiconductor manufacturing project. Now, this was a big deal. India has been trying to build a chip ecosystem, and Zoho stepping in felt like a major boost. But here is the catch. They couldn't find a strong technology partner, and chip making isn't like writing software. It's capital intensive, complex, and need global expertise. So Zoho is backing out, and at least for now. This isn't the first time either. We have seen Foxconn and Vedanta face similar struggles. It shows how far India still has to go in this space. And while we are talking about long-term ambitions, let's jump to something more immediate energy. To meet soaring electricity demand, especially with summer rolling in, the Indian government has told all imported coal-based power plants to operate at full capacity till June end because we cannot risk power cuts. Yes, it's a bit of step back in terms of clean energy, but right now it's about keeping the grid stable. Imported coal is expensive, but outages cost more economically and politically. Now, speaking of national planning, let's move to agriculture and India's wheat story this season. There's some good news from the field. The government has brought over 25.6 million metric tons of wheat from farmers this year. That's a huge jump from last year's 20.5 million. Why does this matter? One, it supports farmers by giving them assured buyers. Two, it builds up food reserves in case of any future shortages. And three, it helps keep inflation in check. With climate risk looming, a solid procurement buffer is a smart move. Now, while the government's buying wheat, investors have been buying into Indian startups. Let's talk about funding. Private equity and venture capital firms are clearly feeling bullish from January to April this year. India saw $11.8 billion in PEVC funding. That's a 27% jump from the same time last year. April alone was $2.7 billion coming. The money is flowing into sectors like fintech, EV, SaaS, and even clean tech. It's a sign that India's startup story is still very much alive, even in a tight global market. And while we are on numbers, and company just clocked a pretty massive milestone, Hyundai. Hyundai India has now sold over 9 million cars in the country. That's a huge. Just last month, they sold 44,000 plus units. Steady demand, consistent product lineup, and strong brand loyalty are clearly paying off. From the Santro to the Creta, Hyundai has grown with Indian consumers, and this number is proof of that. It's a milestone few auto companies in India have reached. And now from wheels to deals, here is something brewing on the international trade front. India and the UK are ironing out the last detail of their long-awaited free trade agreement. One of the big sticking points, India wants exemption from the UK's carbon border tax. Also on the table, more visa slots for Indian professionals. But both sides seem optimistic. And if this deal is signed, it could boost trade, investment, and open new doors for exporters and service providers on both ends. While governments sort out international deals, the RBI is working on digital safety at home. The Reserve Bank of India just told all banks move your domain to bank.in by October. This isn't just a name change, it's a cybersecurity upgrade. Scams and phishing websites have been a huge problem. A dedicated domain like bank.in makes it easier for the user to know they are on a legit bank site and not a fake one. So it's a simple but smart move.
Now let us round things off with a quick update from the FMCG space, Nestlé India. Despite being a household name, even Nestlé is not immune to cost pressures. The company saw a minor dip in profits, mainly due to rising commodity prices. Their stock reflected that, slipping just about 0.4%. It is not alarming, but it is a reminder even strong consumer brands face headwinds when raw material costs shoot up. And that is it for this week Business Roundup. If you found this helpful, give it a like, share, and do not forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next week.